So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take someone from this to this. So let's get it. Jumping right into it, we're going to start off by creating our bald line with our trimmer. Now this fade is not going to drop in the back. It's going to go straight across. So I'm going to start right at the top of his arch. And then I'm going to follow this line straight back. Now after we establish that line, we'll go ahead and bald everything under it out with our trimmer. And yes, these trimmers are zero gapped. And you'll see as I'm balding him out, I'm not, pressing against the skin too hard. I'm really letting the weight of the trimmer do the work. That's because I don't want to cause any irritation, right? One of my pet peeves is making the client's skin red. And that's because it just distracts from the entire haircut, right? So I'm doing the same thing on the other side. And as you can see, man, when you have your trimmer set well, they just mow right through hair. So it's getting the surface nice and clean and ready to come in with our shaver here in a few moments. I'm just continuing to bald them out, trying to get all those hairs as best as I can. And now we're going to follow it up with the shaver. This is our Andis foil shaver. And with this, what it's going to do is get it a lot closer to the skin. It's going to make it, to the point where you can't feel any stubble at all for the most part. And I'm not going up too high with this. I'm stopping, below that line. I don't want to cause myself any more trouble by creating another line. So now to get into the fade, we're going to come in lever open with our Rebels. And we're going to go up about a finger's width here, following that shape that we created with our bald line, straight front to back. Staying nice and clean, making sure that we're organized and don't get lost in the process. Now I did, change out the blue to the pink, as you can see, which I think looks super dope. Just trying something new. Now to start getting rid of this line, I'm going to close up that lever all the way, and I'm just going to tap at that line, right? Not going up all the way to the top, but I'm inching up slowly but surely. And you'll see right here, I'm opening up that lever gradually as we move up within this fade. And we're going to do that all throughout. I'm going to do one with the left side, and then I'm going to move to the other side. Just for the sake of the video, right? But if I was in the shop, I'd do it all around the head at once, and then, go on to my next step. So I'm coming in close and then opening it little by little until we're fully open. And my clippers are zero gapped as well, so they blend right into that the trimmer line. And we're just working at it, trying to get it as blended as we can. And now there still is a faint line in between that bald and open, so I'm going to use the corner of my trimmer here and kind of break at that line. I'm just trying to, soften it up and make sure that this blend is seamless. Now after the lever open, we're going to do lever open on our one guard. And again, we're going up a finger's width. And we're staying real consistent, following our process. Maintaining that same front to back shape. And I'm not being scared to make this line wider, right? I feel like a lot of times the problem a lot of people make when they're trying to fade is they make their guidelines really thin. And what happens is it makes it harder to blend that line out, right? So now between that one guard open and that lever open, we're gonna go ahead and close that one guard to lighten up this line just slightly. It's not gonna get rid of it fully, but it's gonna lighten it up significantly. And now to fully get rid of it, we're gonna come in with our half guard lever open, and we're gonna attack this line, right? And if we see that open isn't really doing the job, I'm gonna go ahead and close up that lever, as you'll see here in a sec. So I went ahead and closed it about halfway, and still attacking that line, trying to get it as blended as we can. And it's slowly but surely coming together. Now I think we closed it even more, so we're almost all the way closed. And at this point, I'm just playing with the levers, seeing what works and what doesn't. And now above that, we're gonna have our 1.5 lever open. And we're going to inch up this line just a little bit. We're not going up about that full inch, but we're going up just a little with that 1.5 lever open. I would say about 1/4 of an inch is where we're going up with that 1.5 open. And now we're going to close that 1.5 to get rid of that faint line in between. But you'll see that it doesn't do the job. So we go back to our 1 guard open. And we're going to detail that line. Then I went ahead and closed it even more. And you'll see when I'm taking out a line, I always start off open and then close the lever as needed. Because if you can take more hair off, but you can't put hair back on if you take off too much. You feel me? And we're working with that 1 guard, trying to get this section as blended as we can. And you can see it's coming together very nicely. Now this is our 2 guard lever all the way open. And we're going to go up even a little more above that 1.5 open. Now this will be the biggest guard that we use before we do clipper over comb. And with this, I'm just coming off the shape of his head, trying not to dig into that length on top. And you can see that still created another line. So again, I went back with my 1 guard open. And it's really bringing everything together. So we're coming in lever open with our flat top comb. So I'm coming in with the comb and flaring out slightly. And any hair sticking out of the comb, we're going to go ahead and get rid of. Now don't judge me for the comb. You see that the tooth is broken. But man, barber side really eats away at combs. So you got to, re-up on them often. Now we're going to do the same exact steps on the right side of his head. So as you guys would know, we're gonna come in close with our clipper, and then as we move up, we'll open up that lever slowly until this line is blended out. This transition point right here, the ball to the lever open, is so crucial because it really determines the cleanliness of your blend. So you want to make sure that you get it as blended as you possibly can. Now we're going to come in lever open on our clipper as well, going up about that finger's width. What would you guys say the width of this guideline is, man? Because every time I say a full inch, someone in the comments is like, man, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. That is definitely not 1 inch. So let me know in the comments, man, what is the width of this guideline? I'm going to say a finger's width because if I put my thumb there, it's about the same. But I'm going to let you guys choose. Now to get rid of the line in between, we're going to have our half guard lever open. And we're just going to blend this baby out. So we're just attacking that line. Now we're going to close it. We're not wasting any time, right? If we come in with that lever open and we see it's not doing the job, go ahead and close it. Because if you keep going it over and over and over, it's not going to change that it's not taking off anything. So you want to make sure that you get to the point as fast as you can. So I'm playing with that lever, opening and closing it as needed. And you can see it's starting to come together very nicely. And working up helps me stay organized as well because I can make sure that it's clean as I go up into the hair on top, right? So now we're going to have our 1.5 lever open. And we're just going up slightly here. Not the full finger's width, but I would say about half of it. And we're just inching up slowly but surely. Now you can really see that line in between. I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of that here in a second. So I went ahead and closed that 1.5. And it is not doing the job. So as you guys would know, I'm going to have my 1 guard lever all the way open. And we're going to try to blend this line out. And this is a perfect example how, people's hair textures grow differently on both sides. To me, his left side was a lot easier to fade than his right side. But we're still following the same steps, right? But we're adjusting and pivoting as needed. So you want to make sure that you attack every hair texture and problem the same. But then you want to make sure that you're able to adjust in order to solve that problem. And we're just working at it until we get it looking how we want. So now this is going to be the biggest level that we use. This is the 2 guard open. And we're going to go up just a little more, just like we did on the other side, coming off the shape of his head. I don't want to dig into the weight along the ridge. I want to keep it as full as possible, even though this is kind of a higher fade. Now to blend into the length on top. Same as the other side, guys. Clipper over comb, lever all the way open. And we're just going to work, right? Any hair sticking out of the comb, we're going to go ahead and get rid of. And I say this every time I do clipper over comb. The clipper with the lever all the way open against a flat top comb is equivalent to a 1 guard. and that could kind of give you something to gauge off of when you're doing it. So if I left off with the 2-guard open, this should have no problem blending into the top. Yes sir, and that pretty much gets us to the fade other than detailing. Now we're gonna go ahead and line up his front area. Now with this lineup in the front, we're not doing too much. He just wants to make sure that it's a little more symmetrical, so we're gonna get rid of his widow's peak and clean up his corners, and this is really gonna make or structure his face, right? It's gonna give it a more masculine look. Instead of his hairline kind of being everywhere, he wants it to be a little straighter. So I'm cleaning up the corners here. Same with the other side. He has a really bad cowlick that sticks up if you don't line it up, so that's why it's sectioned off the way it is. And now we are going to enhance the corners just a little bit to get it looking a little crispier. This is a Kiss semi-permanent mixed with alcohol in my airbrush, and that's just going to darken it up, really make that line up pop. Now same with the other side. Now we're going to get into the trim on top. So for the trim on top, we're not going to take off too much. I'm going to start off by connecting the top to the side, which his hair is combed over to. And now we're going to go ahead and pull up the front. And I would say we're taking off about 1/2 inch. And we're going to establish our line in the middle. And then we're going to use that for the rest of his head. So we're going to follow this 1/2 inch all the way back. Now this is the most traditional way that barbers use the scissors, which is starting in the front and then combing backwards. Usually I do the 3 sections, but his hair was fairly short. So I didn't feel it was necessary. But now we're going to use that middle guideline as our reference point, right? So now I'm moving towards his left side, and we're going to even everything out with the 1/2 inch that we took off the middle. Super simple, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and dry his hair. Now he doesn't do a crazy style, he just likes a little volume in the front, so I'm going to go ahead and blow dry that. And that thing is looking super clean. We don't use any product in this video. And now we're gonna hit it with a razor to go ahead and clean up that lineup, make it look a little sharper, really set it off. And alright fam, this is the finished product. A nice mid fade, you could call it a high fade, but this is the finished product. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, I will see you guys next time.